Hi everyone, this is Sarah and welcome to Flosstube number 3. This is my channel, Lady Lugana. If you are new here, this is a channel dedicated to cross stitch and specifically sharing the joy, the passion, the love of cross stitch with others like-minded or new to cross stitch and enjoying each other's company through the online community. Today is September 5th. It's a rainy, cloudy New Hampshire fall autumnal day. I'm enjoying the cool weather. It's been in the 60s today, and so I'm enjoying the kind of transition last vestiges of summer. I'm trying a new space to see if the lighting is better today because of the rain. You can see my blank wall. Life update, we may have found a new home. We shall see. And if not, if it does not work out, I am hanging all the cross stitch that's just sitting in my apartment on the floor waiting to be hung up so that it'll be visible in the next video. I have like 7 rescued pieces that deserve to be on display. So just a thought. Other life update, I have started my doctoral training as of last week. So I am very hopeful that I'll still be able to have a lot of time to stitch, but time is limited between work and doctoral work. So fingers crossed. I plan to continue doing a monthly video every 4 to 6 weeks, but hopefully, or I'm very hopeful that the amount of stitching I get done does not necessarily completely fall off a cliff, but it may. We'll see. So for today, kind of one order of business. I'll be discussing the winner of the giveaway from last week, which is Mirabilia, Nora Corbett's design, Adja the Garden Fairy. And additionally, I think today is the day for a WIP parade. So I'm excited. So first and foremost, the exciting part is the giveaway, and that is Miss Adja the Garden Fairy. And she is designed by Nora Corbett under her label Mirabilia cross stitch. And the winner, I used a random cross stitch, or excuse me, a random comment picker thing, is Miss Linda Zarovich. And I think I said that right. I'm sorry, Linda, if I did not. But I will be, look under your comment. I'll be commenting, letting you know that you are the winner. And I will have linked both my Instagram account or my email, so you can email me your address whenever it's convenient, and I can get that in the mail for you. I have her all kitted. I'm doing her on a dark, like mulberry wine fabric. And so I'm hopeful to start her maybe this autumn or this fall. I think she'll be pretty and a fun stitch. So let me know. We can maybe stitch her together. Otherwise, today is a WIP parade. And so I honestly don't know how many WIPs I have. It's more than I thought, but it's not as much as it could be. I have a lot of other kitted projects that I would like to start, but have not started. So I think the first ones I will start with are my full coverage pieces. Let me pull these. I haven't figured out, editing is not my strong suit, and so I am pulling them up on my iPad for now. And if I get fancy, maybe in the next upcoming videos, I'll figure out how to be like, and here's a picture, and it'll be like right there, and you can just see it. And so this is a Heaven and Earth design. And it is called Empress Eugenie Surrounded by Ladies. And the original artwork was by Franz Xavier Winterhalter. And as I said, it was made into a cross-stitch design by Heaven and Earth Designs. And this is what it looks like, all finished. It's beautiful. So I am a left top corner stitcher, and so I am working up here in this corner. I started this about a year ago. and it is over 350,000 stitches. So actually my husband picked this one out, and we're going to be working on this for like 10 years. So he's gonna have to wait. But this is what I have so far. You can see, so this is top left for me. You can see the clouds and the tree as it's coming down. This is 28 count even weave, and I am stitching it 1/1 with all the called for colors. And I think like down here, this is the first 2 pages. A little bit left to do on the first 2 pages. I think this is approximately 3% complete. So I'm using Pattern Keeper. And get real close. Is that focusing? It has a lot of beautiful colors. So this is not one of Heaven and Earth Designs max color patterns. It just uses the kind of like 89 color palette. 89. It has 89 colors in the palette, I should say. But I think she's gorgeous, and I think she's one of my focus pieces. I would try to work on her every other week, or at least get a certain number of stitches in her in a month. Else my husband is like, why aren't you working on my project? So I think she's lovely. So that's WIP number 1. So my next full coverage piece was a gift from my sister. So I started cross stitching, and then she kind of picked it up after I started, and then I was not cross stitching for quite some time. And in her she attempted to get me, like, she was wanting to recruit me back so that we could talk about cross stitch all the time, and which is basically what we do now. We talk about cross stitch all the time. And so she bought me this pattern, which is also a Heaven and Earth design, and it is called Father Christmas with Toys. And the artwork is originally by Yvonne Gilbert. And this is what it's supposed to look like. So she gifted me this pattern because she loves full coverage pieces. She, I think, has like, I'm guesstimating maybe 15 pieces that are full coverage now going. But I love the contrast and the beauty of his, like, the colors in his outfit contrasted with the snow and the trees. And so this is where, top left, this is where I am starting. This is, I think, about 5% done. And it too is on 28 count even weave 1/1. And as you can see, all the snowflakes, and these are the tops of the trees. This one benefits from being kind of a distant view, so you can kind of see it better. This, however, let me tell you, this is the second piece I think I ever started. Second piece I've ever started. And so all of these colors are very light, and it was before I got like magnifiers, before I had an alt light, and so I was struggling to see. I think I have a few stitches in here that are like double stitched, and maybe some that are missed. But I think it's really, I don't know if you can tell, you can kind of see it. It uses a sparkly floss. I switched it out for Petite Treasure Braid, but the snow is actually going to sparkle, which I think is super cool. And this is how big it'll be when it's done. So I plan to work on this upcoming winter season. So that is Father Christmas with Toys. So that is my second full coverage piece that I have going. Sorry, I'm looking down. They're all stacked on the floor over here. So I'm trying to, they're all falling over already. It's fine. It's fine. It's going to be okay. The other one, let's see if I can find it, is the summer montage. And I think I've showed this before. Summer. Yeah. And this is a Janet Stever piece, but it's charted, not by Heaven and Earth Design, rather it's charted by Pain Free Crafts. And that is what it will look like. Now there are 4 of these patterns, 1 for each season, and I own them, and I have the stuff to start autumn. when the autumnal equinox comes. I have not decided if I shall start it because I'm hopeful to get some stuff done by the end of the year. I want to shrink my WIP pile. And then I'll start it. But this one is on, it's with all the called for colors, 1/1 on 28 count, but it's not an even weave. It's just like I think it's a Monaco. And it was just some inexpensive, it's Charles Craft Monaco from Michael's. And this is what that one looks like. It's just a baby start, but I think the colors look beautiful. There's just, the combination of them are very rich, and I think it's quite stunning. There's something about working on this that makes, maybe it's the colors. I don't know what it is, but there's something about working on this particular fabric that brings out these colors in a bolder fashion than my other pieces. And maybe it's just because the other ones are not working with such bold colors right now, rather dark and pale. But I was really nervous. I have it oriented the wrong way. It's supposed to be oriented like this, and I have it oriented like this. And so it's going to be I measured it like 15 times, and my sister measured it via FaceTime. It's going to be a really close edge. So I think I'm going to have to sew some muslin onto it so that it can be stretched at the framer, but I planned on framing right up to the edge. So I think it'll work out anyway. So that is Janet Stevers' Summer Montage. Not much on that one, unfortunately. I had the starty bug or startitis. I itched for multiple starts this past summer, and I did. I was like, oh, and I've kitted so many things that I'm like, ooh, I gotta get things done so I can get things started. I like that. So the next one is Autumn Quakers by Rosewood Manor, excuse me. And this is what it looks like. And this is a pattern using Valdani floss. It's hand dyed, and it comes in this cute little box. And I am using the Valdani floss on 28 count doubloon, and it's 3 strands of floss over 2. Yep, 3. And that's what they call for in the pattern itself. I don't have very much started. My sister and I started this one. We were going to do it every Wednesday and FaceTime and like stitch together and do it at the same time. And she is now away for her job for 6 months. So this is on hold. Although we found that when we talked and stitched together on FaceTime, we kept making mistakes. I know. I was like, oh, I think I've frogged this one more than any other pattern I have, to be quite frank. And so this is my baby start on autumn, 3/2 on 28 count doubloon by Picture This Plus. But you can see it's all variegated and it's very beautiful. I think it's interesting because my sister I like this motif. I don't know if that's focusing, kind of. Yeah. She is making her variegation more subtle by using one strand of floss and doing the loop method so that she hooks it behind the behind the back of her work. And it's very fun to see how different they both look from each other. Also, because she's using 2 strands, mine has a much denser coverage and almost puffy stitches compared to hers. So I think it's fun to see the differences that we working together and how everyone's work of art is just a little different. I like that. So that is Autumn Quakers. And I also have all 4 of those, and I want to do all 4 of those. I've noticed I really like seasonal patterns. I love seasonal patterns. And Halloween patterns. Halloween patterns are obviously amazing. So the next one, I haven't worked on this since I last showed it to you, but it is One Nation Under God by the Twin Peak Primitives. And this is what the pattern looks like. And most of this I shop mostly from 1-2-3 Stitch, and I think I got this pattern from them, but I could be making that up. I have since found the love and joy of cross stitch shops like Hollis Hands Creates, and there's several other ones. That Kingsland Needle, I think, is another one. I'm like saving all these shops because they do have beautiful patterns and beautiful things, and I would like to support them. So I have since started shopping on Etsy, and so next time when I do a quote-unquote regular template Flosstube, I may have some haul to share. So this is where I am right now. This is with the called for colors, which is Weeks Dye Work. It's all Weeks Dye Work floss. So over dyed. Some of it's variegated. And this is a 32 count country vintage mocha. And I think this is a Weigert, I think. And that is what I have so far. Actually, I had to mark my pattern because this motif is completely it's like off by like 4 stitches. And I wasn't going to rip the whole motif out. And so I have it like marked to make sure that the other one is equally off. So that they're at least symmetrical. But I think this is beautiful. That's the fun thing about WIP parades is you see all of these and you're like, I want to work on that. I want to pull all of these out and stitch all the time. So that is another one I have going. Another kind of patriotic piece that I stitched on only one day. I stitched on this for, I think, the 4th of July, is Teresa Koget's Land That I Love, which is a very popular piece. I love Teresa Koget. Can I just say how much I love Teresa Koget? Like, yeah, I want to stitch all of her stuff. Oh my gosh, did you guys see the new Halloween pattern that she released at Expo? I think that's what it's called, Expo. With like the cats and the pumpkins, and it's huge, and yeah, I pre-ordered that Halloween book. It has like 11 different patterns in it, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait. Halloween. I love Halloween, so I'm very excited this year. I'm very excited about the idea of moving into a house. It's a house that will probably need a lot of tender love and care, but it's a house and we can decorate for Halloween. So we'll see. I don't know. Thanksgiving might be the first holiday we decorate for. I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm working most of those holidays anyway this year, unfortunately. But we will still celebrate. So this is Land That I Love. Sorry, sidetracked. Back to the WIP Parade. And it uses a mixture of Classic Colorworks, DMC, and Weeks Dye Works, but has a full DMC conversion available if you have a preference for stitching with just DMC. But I don't know if you watch Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. She's been working on this one for a little while, and her houses are all starting to come together, and they are so pretty. And she hand dyed her own fabric, and it's beautiful. It's this muted kind of, it's more of a cool toned fabric, and I think it's lovely. And I kind of went completely opposite and have a very warm fabric for it. But that is the pattern, and it is so beautiful. I love big houses. Like, I love stitching houses. I don't actually have a finished project with a house on it, but I love the idea of stitching houses. And like I said, only one day of effort. And so this is stitch 2/2 with the called for colors on 32 count Moon Glow by Picture This Plus. It's, let's see. That's pretty good representation of the colors. It's quite warm, But I thought that the warm colors are going to bring out some of those warmer browns and warmer golden colors in it. And so that very, very basic baby start, but it was fun to work on for the 4th of July. A lot of other people got a lot farther than I did, but I thought it was beautiful. But yeah, I think that's more a reflection of the real color of the, oh, my dogs, I've locked them out of the bedroom. I've also locked my husband out of the bedroom. He's in the other room. And I can see them pacing out there like, let me in. So that is Teresa Koget's Land That I Love. So that is one of my whips. Let's see what's next. I'll do I have 2 new starts. So I, on Sunday, stitch a small pattern, a small piece. And I'll show you next time, a finished small pattern that I am hopeful of turning into a pincushion. But I'll show that because it's finished next time, and I'll just do the whips today. But I started this past Sunday, which was yesterday, as my next small. And it is Lizzie and Kate's Autumn Smalls, and it's this pillow right here. I don't know, can you see? Is that focused? Doesn't look focused. And this is, I have all of these patterns for each season, and I've stitched the summer one, which I think I showed in the very first video I made, that says summer, and it's so cute because it has little sheep on it, and it has like a watermelon for the U. And this one is equally cute because it has an owl with a pumpkin, and I think the tree is adorable. I don't know if you can tell, but the tree has different colored autumn leaves. I'm like, oh, that's adorable. So and check this out. It's got a candy corn. Oh yeah, I love Halloween. And so this I just started. I stitched on it. I was quite busy with homework yesterday, so I didn't get a lot of stitching done. So I have a T, a U, a start on an M, and a start on a pumpkin. And this is with the called for weeks dye work floss, and it's also 2/2 on 32 count. And this is picture this plus gingerbread. There's a theme, 2/2 on 32. I have actually several projects now. I'm looking over this way because that's where they're sitting in all of their lovely bags, which I should probably show you some of my bags at some point. They're quite fun. And I have 40 count fabric, and I have 36 count fabric, and I have silk, and I have all sorts of things to stitch and different things. But thus far, everything I'm actually working on, I'm pretty sure is either 28 count or 32 count, 2/2, minus my full coverages. So, and I thought this guy was cute. I thought he was very autumnal. Little, I don't remember who I got this from. This was like, it came as part of a, kind of like a, I don't know, you know when they send extras? I ordered a grime guard and it was an extra. So, a lot of fun. So that is one of my new starts. And I, of course, my next new start, let me actually pull up and I'm sorry too if it looks like I'm looking down. My sister says I look like I'm looking down and to the left, and that's because I want to make sure that I'm showing you what I think I'm showing you, and you are seeing what I think you should be seeing. And so that is, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm looking to make sure it's focused. So I apologize if that's driving anyone crazy. But so this next one is a September 1st start, if that gives you any hints. It is a mystery stitch along, if that gives you any hints. And it is by Autumn Lane Stitchery. Yes, I did join the Autumn Lane Stitchery. Fancy Lady, of course. And it is called, let me make sure I'm not showing you the actual pattern, Dark Queen of the Earth. And this is part 1. I love that they sent this with the, like you can see the outline behind her. Like you can see the whole, what it's going to like I don't know, the shaded regions. And this is actually a lot of stitches. A lot of stitches. Oh. And so they are releasing, Dark Queen of the Earth is the second in the Stitch Along series. They did Dark Queen of the Sea, and I'm sure you've all been seeing those on Instagram, etc. Dark Queen of the Sea, she was beautiful, and so I was like, oh yeah, totally worth playing and participating in this one. And so I ordered everything. I ordered the fabric from, is it Under the Sea Fabrics? Let's see. Yes, Under the Sea Fabrics. Here you go. And this is, they had 2 different fabric choices made specifically for this pattern. One was kind of a deep mottled green brown, and the other one is more of a mottled brown, kind of lighter affect to it. And this one is called Nightshade, and it is 32 count Lugana, and I am stitching 2 over 2 with the called for colors, and it's still in a Q-snap because I got to finish part 1. Is that the right side up? Yes. And so that is what that looks like. Like I said, that's a lot of stitches. I've seen that some people have already finished part 1, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. How can you stitch so fast? I feel like I am a very slow stitcher. This has probably taken many more hours than I should be doing cross stitch with. I should be doing some other things like studying and cleaning and who knows, maybe even meal prepping, but instead I have Autumn Lane Stitchery going. Dark Queen of the Earth. I think she's going to be cool. So that is my second new start. Yes, and I like to stitch, as you can tell, in a Q-snap. My preference is the 11 by 11s, and I hook it up to a stand. So I can either do one-handed stitching or the two-handed stitching, which I do with full coverage more than any other. I like to use a laying tool for projects that I use a loop method or double floss strands so that it looks neat and even. Where is my, sorry guys, I'm moving you. Hold on. I think I've buried it. Well, the picture is buried. It is Madonna of the Garden. It is a Mirabilia picture. I will try, like I said, maybe now is the time that I have to put the fancy picture. So if you see something here, it will be Madonna of the Garden by Mirabilia. We'll see. And this is where I am. This is my first Mirabilia piece, and I think I told you this last time because I showed it last time when I was doing my Mirabilia pattern parade, or Nora Corbett pattern parade, I should say, that this went into timeout for a while because I frogged a lot and multiple times. She got a lot of frogging done. Let's see if I can, there we go. A lot of frogging because I did not know how to count 2 over 2. But now she has an arm and she's holding baby, this is baby Jesus coming together over here. His swaddling cloth is over here. And these beautiful kind of pale greens and dark greens. And so I got a little bit done on her. Not as much as I wanted to, but she's going to come out more frequently. Because now I'm very hopeful that she will be done by the time the conference rolls around. My brain just stopped. It was like, And so if you don't know about the conference, check out Fiber Arts Amy and Kitschy Whips. I will put them down in the description box below and link them. And they are putting together a Mirabilia themed retreat in North Carolina, October 2023. So the sign up starts October 1st, I think. And they have all the information on their Flosstubes and Facebook and they're putting out good information. And I should say, thank you so much, Amy, for your shout out on Instagram. I was so excited. I was maybe a little like fangirling, just a little bit. My husband's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm so excited. They watched my channel. He's like, okay, take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. And so check out their channels. If you are interested, sign up for the newsletter for the Mirabilia retreat, and fingers crossed, we'll see each other there. I'm hopeful. I really want to go. I'm really hopeful school does not interfere with my willing or inability to go. So that is Madonna in the Garden, my one and only active Mirabilia piece going right now. The other Nora Corbett smaller design that I have going is Luna. And I showed this to you last time as well, and I love Luna. She's beautiful because she is bright and she is like electric looking with her colors. And so this is where I am on Luna. I got quite a bit more done on her. My matching witch needle minder. I still think it's so cute that she has a purple dress on and a green hat. But this is Called For Colors, Called For Fabric, 32 count Witch Helps Milk Chocolate, which I saw the Huga Stitcher had stitched on the Called For fabric, and I just loved the way these colors showed up on this muted fabric specifically. I was just like, oh, that's amazing. And so there she is. And I will finish her before October 31st. Best laid plans, right? So maybe she'll be done by October 31st. I really hope she's done by October 31st, because then I think she would be a fun one to send to Rental Studio. And then you can do things like spider webs in the corners of the matting, or even like pumpkins in the bottom. My sister is wants to do pumpkins. I thought about doing like little bats. I don't know. It'd be so cool. Yeah. I think she's so pretty. And let me tell you, I have no idea why, but backstitching. She has backstitching to emphasize the lines of her like arms and her face and give her a chin. It's much harder for some reason than I thought. I was like, why can't I count? I'm like looking and triple checking and still struggling, but yes, that is Luna. Get the stitching done, get the beading done. That's what I gotta get done. She's a beaut though. I like her. This is one of 2 Dimensions kits that I have going, and it is Warm and Fuzzy, a gold collection petite. It's adorable. So, I love nursery. So I like nursery patterns. I don't know how to explain this. I have a lot of patterns. I even have a couple kitted that would be beautiful in a nursery. My husband and I we won't have children, but I think these are a lot of fun to stitch, and there's something innocent about them. And even though I won't ever have a nursery, I think they would be a beautiful addition to someone else's nursery as like a gift, or even just to keep a little bit of innocence in my own home and my own life. So I like bears, and I like little cutesy fairy tale stuff. I also like fancy extreme fairy tales like Teresa Winsler, but in this case, this I think is very darling. So I enjoy her, him and her, them, the bears, be what they be. And so this is with the kit floss, and it is on an 18 count ivory Ada. And my dog is trying to bust her way in. And this is what it looks like right now. And I have to tell you, if you have not watched Teeny Weeny stitches. She does a lot of dimensions kits and has a lot of dimensions kits that she went through. Oh my gosh, they're so amazing. Like, it's hard to appreciate the true depth of a dimensions kit until you start stitching it, because the shading on this is absolutely incredible. Look, I was working on this and I was like, this is amazing. I was also like, why are there so many color changes? Why am I changing my thread so much? But look at how beautiful those are. Look at the shading. Look at this one here. The shading up here. It is stunning. So kudos to Dimensions for being amazing. I have a large collection, but only 2 of their kits going right now. So that is Warm and Fuzzy. Actually, I have 2 of this particular kit too. I was thinking about stitching one for someone who's having a baby. But I crochet as well. And so I'm currently in the process of making 4 baby blankets. 1 is done, 3 to go. Lots of people having babies right now. They're all boys too. Like, not a single one of them is a girl. Every one of them is a boy. And I'm like, that's a lot of boy baby blankets to make. I like to make neutral colors like greens and yellows, because I feel like a lot of people don't get neutral tones. So I think those are fun. Kind of a unique and unusual. I only have 3 left. This is another Dimensions kit. It's the Gold Collection. I have no idea if this is still available. I got this off of eBay. And it is called Winter Impressions. And I like it because, first of all, I love the idea of winter. I love winter. Ethan Frome, if any of you've read that, it used to be a Christmas read for me every year. My husband's like, that's a little bit of a depressing book to read at Christmas. But I love winter, and I love the contrast. I said this with the other Santa piece, the contrast of red on white. I think it's super beautiful. And so this is Winter Impressions, and it's oval. I think that's so cool. I'm like nerding out over the fact that it's an oval pattern. Yes, this is true. And this is done with the kit floss, and it's an old kit because I don't think I have the bag. The bag is on the bed. I had to like sort all the floss and determine which one was darkest brown, which one was maybe mildly warm brown, and which one was lightest brown. Like all sorts of, I was like, well, this looks kind of grayish, brownish. We'll see. I hope it works. And so this is on 18 count blue Aida, which looks remarkably dirty right now, and I'm not sure why. But that, is it see-through? I can't tell. Maybe. We'll put this behind it. Get one of those fancy Lori Holt boards that I've been seeing around. I've decided that I should probably learn to make a reel and have a more beautiful wall before I start getting a Lori Holt board. But that is not very well visible. That is what I have done so far. And true to what I was saying about dimensions, the shading is beautiful. I was stitching this horse and I was like, what? This is like just creams, but it's so addicting. I just want to keep going. And so I worked on this last Christmas. You can see my relatively chintzy like sew over method, my basket weaving. I was like, and go. My husband is the sewer. I do not have any knowledge of how to use a sewing machine, which negates my ability to make a pillow bowl. And so I think when we have a home and more square footage and a place to put our sewing machine, he's gonna have to teach me. And I think his sewing machine surges as well. And so I won't have to hand sew the edges anymore, which makes me very excited. So, Winter Impressions by Dimensions. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So I think trying to decide like which ones I want to try and get done. Luna, I definitely want to get done by the end of the year. I kind of want to get the warm and fuzzy little bear one done. And then maybe one more. Not likely, but we'll see. This is my oldest WIP. Let me tell you about this WIP. This is a gift from my mother. It's a cross stitch kit. When I first learned how to cross stitch, and when I say I first learned, I made a single ornament, which I should pull out when we do Christmas stuff and show it to you because it's all tucked away right now. Single ornament. And then this was my next project. And I was in way over my head. I did a center start and it is entirely confetti in this center start. And I was like, And so it went away. It has now just started to come back out. I worked on this in August for Kitten Caboodle Sal for August. So I need to post that on Instagram. But this is a design work piece. This is the full picture. It's quite beautiful. It's quite massive. A little bit of a intense undertaking for your second ever cross stitch project ever. And the center start is right in here. I was like, why am I changing my floss so much? And then I was so confused because I was under the impression that you could not backstitch. Like it was a rule that you could not backstitch until you've stitched every single cross stitch. And so now I have to go back and decide whether or not I want to backstitch as I go, as I am able to, because that, I mean, look at this. I'll get all of the stitches done and then I'll never, ever, ever, ever backstitch it. So we'll see. But this is where I am. And it is on a 14 count Aida with the called for colors. It's huge. Look at this thing. It's enormous. It's going to be huge. And this is what I have done. Which is pretty. So, I would love to get this one like done next year. We'll see. It's like my second priority. My first, actually, and to be quite honest, my first priorities are going to be like Eugenie, the one, that full coverage piece. And then, any Mirabilia I start, I'm going to want to get all those done instead. So this is the design works. And what is it called? It's called, I think it's called like Symphony Bouquet. I think that's what it's called, Symphony Bouquet. So that's what I have on that right now. And then last but not least, one of my favorite designers, because they're so dang cute and I can't handle it. And I've dropped something that's necessary. And actually, this is the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And I think they're coming out with a new stitch along this week for Halloween. No new starts for the, no, probably gonna start that one too. Because why not? Let's see. Let's look for, this is the Nutcracker Parade. And it is so darling. I could not resist. I mean, look at that. Look how adorable that is. I mean, the little mouse in a freaking golden bejeweled carriage and a sugar plum fairy bedecked in a sweet float. That's so cute. It's so cute. I can't handle it. And so I decided this is one of my Sunday smalls too. I work on this occasionally on Sundays. And this is where I am. And this is a Picture This Plus opalescent dwarf. It's an even weave. It's dwarf by Picture This Plus. And it is 28 count. And it is all the called for floss except the, I don't know. I originally started it on something white. Not a good idea because there's too much white. And so I switched up some of the white on that pattern before I restarted to be this beautiful, I think this is Thread X. That's being washed out. There you go. You can kind of see all the, it's like cotton candy. And so I used this for some of the Sugar Plum Fairies float down here. And then I also changed up these snowflakes to a Petite Treasure braid, and that's PB205. Whoa! It just flew away. Petite Treasure braid, PB205. And did those up here. But oh my goodness, it's so cute. Like, I don't know what I want to do with it though. Maybe make it into a little pillow. I want to put it in a silver frame and take it to work. I'm not sure. But I want to get this done by the end of the year too. I think that would be a cute addition. So those are my WIPs, and it's more than I thought I had going, and at the same time less than I thought I had going. I'm sure to have new starts by the next time I see you, early October. I think I have a lot of October stitching ideas and kits and kitted up projects, so I may show you some of my stitchy plans, and fingers crossed maybe I'll have a few finishes to show you as well. We shall see. But thank you for tuning in, and thank you for sharing this time with me. I know that you have a lot of other channels and a lot of other things that make life busy, and I appreciate your willingness to take time and spend it with me. So until next time, you guys have a wonderful day.